Our next speaker for this evening, ladies and gentlemen, I really am amazed at people that can do a lot of things, but they really are blessed as well. She currently is the director of the Science Education Institute of the Department of Science and Technology. This lady is indisputably a super heavyweight in the field of science research and science education. So from the student, we go to the teacher. Our distinguished guest holds a PhD in biology from the De La Salle University in Manila with a dissertation research on seagrass community dynamics on Guimaras Island, and which was published in the journal The Philippine Scientist. This dynamo of a lady started as a biology teacher in St. Elizabeth Academy, where she also advised its school paper. There, she further trained her students in school paper writing, organized workshops, and conducted exposure trips for news writing. She also taught at the University of the Philippines, Manila, and at the De La Salle University. She is known to bring her students to the field. They study wildlife in the mountains of Panay Island. They also conduct studies on flora and fauna. She also takes them to internships and summer work in various research and educational institutions to further their learning. Among her students' noteworthy researches are studies in oceanography, marine life, physics, and robotics, among others. Our distinguished guest is the author of 2 textbooks on teaching integrated science. She's also an author, co-author of several researches and scientific papers. Furthermore, she's the recipient of numerous renowned honors and awards. To cite, 1997, she was an awardee, Outstanding Teacher of the Philippines from the Metrobank Foundation. The following year, she was one of the outstanding young men and was cited in the field of secondary education. In 2004, she received the following honors: the Philippine American Foundation Friendship Award in Washington, D.C., USA, the Metrobank Foundation Award for Continuing Excellence Services, the Distinguished Lasallian Award, and the Doctor of Humanities Honoris Causa from the Manila Central University. In 2007, she was further recognized with the following: the Presidential Award from the Philippine College of Physicians, the Lingkod Bayan Award from the Civil Service Commission, a special award, the Outstanding Women in the Nation's Service. In 2009, she was cited as among the 50 men and women in science by the DOST, and in 2013, she was commended with the Parangal sa Natatanging Kababaihan from the Komisyon ng Wikang Filipino. A very high point in a prominent series of tributes to this passionate and irrefutably committed educator is her Intel Excellence in Teaching Award, accorded to her during the 2002 Intel International Science and Engineering Fair in Louisville, Kentucky. Indeed, she was the first Asian teacher to win this award, besting 4 other finalists from China and the USA and other 90 teachers worldwide. Her remarkable innovations for teaching science research made her a winner. And this one indeed comes very rarely and only for the chosen few who truly deserve the honor. As part of the award, being the 2002 Intel Excellence International Grand Winner, a minor planet was named 13241 Biyo in her honor by the Lincoln Laboratory of Massachusetts Institute of Technology, USA, Planet Biyo was discovered in 1998 and is located between Mars and Jupiter. But she is with us tonight. Friends and honored guests, it is with great privilege to present to you Dr. Josette Biyo.
Good evening, everyone. I'm not from outer space. I'm from Iloilo, but currently I am based in Manila. So I flew here. I came from Manila just this morning to be with you today, to tell you my story so that maybe I will be able to inspire you to do good, to do well, and be happy. For after all, life is too short not to be fun. Do you agree? Yes. But we can only be truly happy if we are giving our best and we are contributing positively to our families, to society, and to the world. I have been in the teaching profession for over 30 years. Now don't count my age. I just started very young. And the reason why I stayed long in the teaching profession was written in one of the books I wrote entitled A Trip to Planet Biyo. I dreamt of stars. I get a planet. And I wrote there, teaching is not a lucrative profession. It cannot guarantee financial security. It even means investing your personal time, money, and resources. Sometimes it means heartaches, disappointments, and pains. But opening the hearts of children, opening the minds of children and touching their hearts give me joy and contentment which money would not buy. And these are the moments I teach for. These are the moments I live for. I also wrote this book to reach as many people beyond time and space with this message. Being a teacher is such a noble profession, and being a Filipino is something to be proud of. Do you agree? Yes. Let's give ourselves a very big hand. A few years back, I was featured in some local, national, and even international newspapers. I made news as the first Asian teacher to win the Intel Excellence in Teaching Award in an international competition based in the US. But I think what made news was that I come from a third world country and I defeated other teachers from around the world. As part of the recognition, MIT, which supports the competition, made one discovered minor planet. They have a Lincoln laboratory and they're always discovering thousands and thousands of planets. But mine is very special because it is named after a Filipino teacher. That small red planet, asteroid, marami dyan, no? This can be named after you or your children or your great-grandchildren in the near future. Next slide, please. I finished BS Biology from the University of the Philippines because deep in my heart, I wanted to be a medical doctor. But I come from a poor family and there were 8 children going to school. In fact, I finished my undergraduate, MS, and PhD all because of scholarships. And my father said, "You cannot enter a medical school. We don't have money." So I ended up teaching in a missionary school with 60, 70 students per class. I taught not only science, I was made to teach English, music, physical education, and at one point in time, I was even the CAT commandant of our school. The first time I taught parts of a microscope, we only had one microscope, and it was a very big drawing on the blackboard. But those were the best years in my teaching life, because working with the children of the poor has instilled in me the importance of service, compassion, and respect for human dignity. I have learned to love teaching, and I saw it as an important instrument for transforming the person and the community. However, after 8 years of teaching, I wanted more. I realized that I could not give what I do not have. So I applied for scholarships At that time, parang suntok sa buwan. I live in a rural area and I will go to Manila. I didn't have resources, I didn't have family, but luckily, I was granted a scholarship by La Salle University. But my stipend wasn't enough. As a full-time graduate student, I looked for a job. I worked as a research assistant, taga-punas ka ng lamesa, taga-hugas ka ng glassware, you do your boss work, and when the paper gets published, you are not an author. Thank you lang for your help, no? But that's okay. I also taught as a part-time teacher. But I love what I was doing. I love learning. And I have my vision. So instead of finishing my MS in 2 years, I finished it in 1 year and 5 months. After which I was given another PhD scholarship, shifting from being a student, teacher, and a lab assistant. I was made to teach there as a part-time instructor, but my heart was really for teaching high school students in the rural area. So I went back to my province, and I taught the Philippine Science High School, Western Visayas campus in Iloilo. Well, this school system, which is now composed of 14 schools all over the country, is under the Department of Science and Technology. It is not under the Department of Education. And all students in these schools are scholars of the Philippine government. We administer an examination. These are students with high aptitude in science and math because we encourage them to pursue science, technology, engineering, and mathematics courses kasi kailangan din natin yan for the country to become, to have sustainable economic growth. And masaya din ang buhay sa Philippine Science High School. Next slide, please. One day, I received a letter from my students. They said, "Dear Ma'am Josette, we know you are being groomed for directorship of the school, and you would want to be the director someday given the chance. The thing is, we do not want you to be the director. We just want you to be a teacher. Because Philippine Science High School needs teachers like you. The country needs teachers like you." So for the past 12 years, I did not get a promotion. My students will always have, nagrarally sila, people power. Each time they hear that I will be promoted to becoming a director. But after 12 years, I told them, sobra na, tama na. I also need money. Now, it's because I think to be a leader, and you can set the vision for your institution and can do more. So I became the director of that school, but then it was also when I shifted back to teaching in high school that I started to receive awards and recognitions from the Philippine government. One time, when I received that Metrobank Foundation Award, my students gave me a poster, a simple white cartolina. Then there was a painting of a rose, all their signature, and a message which says, "You are the song that plays so softly in our hearts, that moves us to aim for greater heights and bigger dreams. Congratulations, we are so proud of you." And that was very heartwarming. Next slide, please. So what are some of these innovations which I started 20 years ago and are still continuing to be used at present and are helping schools all over the country? 20 years ago or more, when we did not have enough resources and no laboratory in school to teach science, I already started my first innovation, which is the use of nature as a laboratory for learning. Napakaganda magturo ng science if we bring our students out there. For example, you teach taxonomy. Why would you opt for a drawing when Philippines has the most diverse kinds of plants? Ilabas mo lang sa garden, no? Let them observe. And then they make their own decisions. They make their own taxonomy. So I bring my students outside. Next slide. And anywhere can be a classroom. Next slide. Anything can be a blackboard. Even the sun can become your blackboard if you are an innovative teacher. Next innovation. In the absence of experts in teaching science, I started to do team teaching. As an expert teacher, you train other teachers. Next slide. I engage them in research because research should not be taught from a book. They should experience that. So that is the only way by which we can build professional learning communities. Then I started to organize workshops. It started out in my province, it became regional in scope, and it became national in scope as we give trainings to teachers all over the country in preparation for the full implementation of the K-12 curriculum. Then, in the absence also of facilities and resources, I initiated forming linkages with other research institutions, academic institutions, and local institutions, which would allow our students to use their facilities for doing research. So it started in my region, and eventually we were able to develop partnerships with other known institutions nationwide, like UP Los Baños, even the Wildlife Center in Palawan, next slide please, and with other universities as we train our students to do research in coastal zone management. Next slide. And we taught our students how to popularize science. Anong kabuluhan ang ginagawa nila? They should relate these findings or this work to the life of the people in the area. So we bring our students outside and engage them with the people in the community so that both the students and the people will appreciate the science that they are doing. Science should have a human face. Next slide. So those community fairs become national in scope, next slide, and became international in scope as we also invited students from other countries to join in our fairs. As high school students, we also encourage them to present not only in the country, but if there are opportunities to present the research work in other countries, we do that, and we train them also how to publish. So my students were able to travel, next slide, present papers, and they even get funding for doing research work. Next slide. So some of the tangible awards is when they win in competitions nationally and internationally. Next slide. Like this boy that won second place grant award for an international competition in TEL in the US for his project. These boys also who won the Young Scientist Award in Malaysia. They travel and see the work of other students at the international level. Next slide. Okay, those boys, by the way, that is my son. Of course, I trained him. Next slide. And 3 years ago, in 2012, the ASEAN plus 3, ASEAN plus Korea, China, and Japan organized a laboratory skills competition for gifted students. The first one was held in Brunei. It was participated in by 24 teams coming from 12 countries. And in that competition, our students from Philippine Science High School in our campus in Iloilo won as the grand champion. Next slide, please. The same competition was held in Korea in 2013. We sent 2 teams, one from the Diliman campus in Manila and one again from the Western Visayas campus. And that was participated by 25 teams coming from 12 countries. Again, our students from Philippine Science High School main campus bagged the Grand Championship Award. Next slide. On the 3rd year, the same competition was held in Thailand, 12 countries, 24 teams. This time, our students from Bicol Region Campus again bagged the Grand Award. And 2 weeks ago, I was with 2 teams. One is from our campus in Eastern Visayas. These are students who were victims of Typhoon Haiyan, lost their families, lost their homes. And another team was from our campus in Central Mindanao campus in Lanao. So this time there were 30 teams, 14 countries, and again, our young students bagged the championship award. So what am I saying? Given the proper exposure and training, our Filipino high school students can really make it at the global arena. One of our students who graduated summa cum laude in physics and got her PhDs abroad said, it all boils down to having a good mentor. Scientists train scientists. You cannot read it from a book. You learn it from others. You learn it from your mentors. Thus, for us teachers, it is really very, very important that we not only teach, but we mentor our students. Not only the content and knowledge, but also forming the right values and right attitudes. Slide. But for me, the most important award is this. When you become a part of a child's life, when you mold a young mind and forge her character, when you bring out the best in each student, and you make a difference, then for me, this is the most priceless reward. Next slide. One day, I received a letter from a student, a first-year high school student. It was a composition she wrote, and it was entitled Excellence. Let me just quote one important sentence. She said, "Give your best. That is excellence. From the simplest task to the most complex of works, giving the best of what you can give fulfills the very meaning of excellence." So I think this is what is meant by not only doing good, but doing it well. Next slide. One time, my class also gave me card. They draw Planet Biyo, and inside that card, they wrote, "May you continue to prove that the Filipino is worth living for." Do you agree? Yes. Next slide. Then, one of my class wrote, "I dreamt of stars, but I got a planet. The shining light of your brilliance inspires all of us to dream, to believe, and to survive." Starstruck. Next slide. But I like what one very young teacher wrote. She said, "Your planet is attracting space debris. I'm waiting with bated breath for the formation of a galaxy." Very inspiring. When I see young people growing in wisdom, partly because maybe I have inspired them, I feel I am the richest person, not only in Planet Biyo, but in the entire universe. So, napakaganda na sana ng buhay ko sa Iloilo. I was uprooted from Iloilo and placed as Executive Director of the Philippine Science High School System. So instead of managing one campus, I have now to manage 13 campuses all over the country. And there are a lot of challenges. Look for land, put up buildings, train teachers, manage people, which is very important, balancing family life, career, and social responsibility. I am also a wife and I have 2 kids. So I have to balance my career and family life. Next slide. And barely a few months of being an executive director, Cebu and Bohol were hit by that very, very strong earthquake. And one of our campuses in Argao, here in Cebu, was damaged. Several buildings were damaged and can no longer be used. After that month, another campus was ravaged by Typhoon Yolanda. Our students were killed, their parents were killed, the entire buildings were destroyed, but even in that state, we housed about 3,000 evacuees for more than a month. So I asked myself this question, God, did I make the right decision of leaving my family and taking over this huge responsibility? Baka nagkamali ako. In my very, very short stay, 2 campuses were already damaged. And where will I look for the resources to rebuild this? And each time I would ask the Lord, did I make the right decision? I would hear this. Naririnig ko, siya kayang sumasagot nito. Sabi niya, life is not about being comfortable, but it's about making a difference. So, I did not realize that I will leave Philippine Science High School that soon because again, I was uprooted and transferred as the director of the Science Education Institute. At that time, I thought Philippine Science High School was really doon na yung buhay ko. But now I realize that with my current work, we go to the different areas, especially in the remote areas of the country, to campaign for for scholarship programs because my institute is mandated to produce science, technology, manpower by giving out scholarships to students. Currently, we are supporting about 17,000 undergraduate scholars, 3,000 masteral scholars, and about 700 PhD scholars. For them to hone their skills in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics so that they can help build this nation. Next slide, please. We also help train teachers to improve the quality of science and mathematics education in this country. Next slide. And we promote science activities because based on data, there is less than 20% of graduating students in high school who will pursue science, engineering, and mathematics degrees in college. Next slide. Okay, next slide, please. Next slide. And when I won in the 2002 Intel Excellence in Teaching competition in the US, I brought 4 high school students, 3 from the Manila Science High School and 1 from Mindanao State University. They were representing the Philippines in the Intel competition, engineering competition. This is the Olympics of the best high school science project in the world. Participated in by about 1,500 students from about 60 countries. So I told them, do not stress yourself. The fact that you are representing the Philippines, we are already winners. But during the awarding program, when it was announced that the student from MIT, Mindanao State University won 3rd place grant award for his project, we were delirious. Hindi kami talaga makapaniwala, no? And when it was announced that the students from Manila Science High School won 1st place grant award for physics, oh my God, parang hindi na kami talaga makapaniwala. And the last award to be called was the teaching award. So when the MC said, for the first time in the history of the event, an Asian teacher won, I stood up, the Chinese stood up also because we were both Asian. But when I looked at her face, I said, oh, it's already me. So, and when it was announced that the teacher from the Philippines won, well, there was a standing ovation from the crowd. Next slide, please. During the panel interview in that competition, one judge asked me, you have a PhD in biology, why did you opt to teach in the rural area? I simply said, and who will teach these kids? And I also told them, I believe that I'm making a difference in the lives of the Filipino children. And another reason why I went back to continue to teach in the rural area is because I believe that there is hope for the Philippines. So when I came back to my school in that rural area, the teachers were very happy. We had a simple program and they said, we are very proud of you. And in my talk, I told them, I am very proud of you too, because it is you who has brought me where I am now. Our experiences together has brought world attention that, hey, there's a world-class school out there in the rural Philippines, a school with world-class teachers and students. And I told the teachers that being world-class doesn't necessarily mean going out international and showing our best out there. Being world-class means passion and commitment to our professions. Being world-class means doing well. And being world-class for us teachers means starting it right inside the classroom. In winning these awards, I am not saying that I am the best teacher in the Philippines. No. There are thousands of best teachers out there doing their jobs very, very well without even thinking of benefits or rewards. And I salute these teachers. I think the reason why I won in these competitions is because somebody up there must have made me as an instrument to deliver the message that indeed Filipinos can be world-class. That if we continue to give our best, we can surpass our limitations and conquer the world. Let us just believe in what we are doing. Believe that we can make a difference. Believing, however, doesn't mean you have to stop from where you are now. Believing means you keep on improving your skills and maximizing your potentials and putting this to good use. Well, as Filipinos that are doing good and doing well, we can paint one bright picture of our country and its people with our passion for excellence, commitment to serve, and belief in our dreams for a better tomorrow. Strive not only to do well, but strive to excel. Do not just take the roads less traveled. Make new roads, blaze new trails, and find new roads to your dreams. To summarize, I'd like to share with you the 4 principles which have served as my guidepost in my continued pursuit for excellence. I pursue excellence not because I love excellence per se. I pursue excellence because I want to give my best service. First, love your work. No matter how simple, love your work. Because when you love your work, it ceases to be work. You're happy. You have fun doing that. Second, continue to learn. Each day is an opportunity to learn. When you talk to people, you learn a lot from them. You read, pursue your hobbies, learn because you cannot give what you do not have, and you replicate who you are. Third, believe that you can make a difference. No matter how simple the task is, if you do it very, very well, then truly you are making a difference. Sabi nga ni Mother Teresa of Calcutta, we are not here on earth to do great things. We are not here to solve the problem of the entire Philippines or the problem of the world, but we are here to do small things with great love. Do small things with great love. And making a difference also. Simple story. One day, a boy was walking along the shore. It's very hot. It's low tide, and sea stars are exposed. So he got each one of them and returned them to the waters. And he met an old man. And the old man asked, "What are you doing?" He said, "Kinukuha ko yung starfishes, binabalik ko sa tubig kasi mainit and they will die." And the old man said, "Iho, walang kabuluhan yung ginagawa mo. Because there are thousands and thousands of sea stars along the coast." But the boy picked up one, throw it in the water, and he said, "Lolo, ang isang yan mabubuhay. For that alone, I made a difference." And the most important of all, let us all recognize that our talents, skills, and opportunities come only from God and should be used for His glory. So let us, when Pope Francis visited the Philippines, he said, "Dear young people, do not bury your talents and gifts that God has given you. Do not be afraid to dream of great things." Further, he said, next slide please, what is the most important subject you have to learn in life? And this is to learn how to love. To learn how to love. Next slide please. So let us remember that each one of us is an enormous storehouse of possibilities. We have the power to be our best. We have the power to do well. You have the power to become what you want to be. You have the power to pursue excellence, to reach for your own planets and make a difference. More power and congratulations.